Alrighty, welcome to the Sports Podcast. I am Colin Felix, aka StatCat. I am here with Oscar Lorandi, who is a Colorado State University student, also with the CSU sports team, and he is going to be junior in the fall with a communications and political science double major.
Yeah, if I could major in sports, that'd be a lot better.
There you go.
Communications and poli-sci it is.
Alrighty. Well, today in this episode, we're going to talk about the new stadium that is being built currently here on the campus of Colorado State University, just a stone's throw away from here, us at the Laurie Student Center. We're going to talk about kind of the benefits that this new stadium is going to bring to the athletic department, Colorado State, and Fort Collins as a whole. So we're going to dive right into that. And first, we're going to even have something that happens already before we're even at the new stadium. CSU has already announced a 2016 TV schedule, and we have 6 nationally televised games. So we have 4 on ESPN and 2 on CBS Sports Network. And that's ranging from the Border War to the Boise game to the Ram Falcon Trophy game between us and Air Force and San Diego State, and I believe our last one, which is November 19th against New Mexico at Hughes.
I think that's a very amusing thing just to see how Colorado State University football has advanced and is getting the respect that it evidently deserves through the Rocky Mountain Conference. As we know, the Mountain West Conference is not very respected through NCAA. But even then, now to see the Rams, gain the kind of stature that they have through the past 2 years. Last year was kind of a slump year, just because we got a new coach, Coach Bobo, as we know, and it seems like they're very much hyping up this new stadium that is arriving in 2 years.
Definitely, and it's a thing, too, kind of a testament to the program that we have 2 players that were drafted just a couple days ago in the NFL draft, with Higgins going to Cleveland, and Corey, I believe, is going to the Raiders.
Oh.
And then we also have, I believe, 4 or 5 other people that have been signed to try out during minicamp, one of which being Joe Hansley, who was the special teams and slot wide receiver for the CSU last year. So I think it's really cool that CSU is already starting to build the program up ever since Coach Mack was here, and now he's gone to Florida. And then we bring Coach Bobo from Georgia, and with the Coach Mack situation, with him coming, we ended up signing up to do Alabama game, where we played several years ago, and we have one other one coming up. And then with the new deal with Coach Mack in Florida is that now I believe it's $3 million we have to reach to be able to have where we'll play Florida once, maybe twice in Gainesville. So what do you think about that? It's not CSU Stadium, but has something to do with them building the program up.
I think it's a very good idea to have CSU play these SEC and higher division teams, just because it really shows how Bobo has confidence in the CSU program, and especially how he's building it up. Not to mention that when we play these teams in the future, it's going to attract a larger audience. As we know, last year there was a little bit of a decline in attendance in the audience that came to watch the football games compared to the season before, when we went and only lost 1 game and won all our home games.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. With that being said, I believe that this is just a ploy to bring in more people to this new stadium. If we compare ourselves, I hate to compare ourselves to CU, but the University of Colorado, has their stadium on campus.
Yeah.
Ours is roughly 7 to 10 miles off of campus. So being able to have a new stadium, state-of-the-art stadium,
Definitely.
which CSU spent over $280 million to begin with.
Yeah.
They're saying the total estimates are going to come to over $550 million after the stadium is done, and they're working on it pretty fast.
It's only been, 6 months or so, and they're already starting to get the seat benches, or the rafters that you can kind of see where the seats are going to eventually go, are starting to go up. So yeah,
it's a beautiful thing to see, especially seeing it, being built right next to where we go to class and whatnot.
Yeah.
But again, ultimately, the stadium and its importance is going to come down to 2 things: how good CSU performs, during the years that the stadium is being built and the beginning years of the stadium, specifically and especially when we play those SEC teams and out-of-conference teams.
Definitely. It's kind of a, what is the word I'm looking for? It's like a metaphor where we're building up the program and we're building up a new stadium. Looking ahead, we already have scheduled out where we are playing somebody out of conference from 2017 to 2021, and then we have a 4-year gap, and then we play 2 games out of conference again in 2025 and 2026. That includes playing Colorado up until the 2020 season when that contract is no longer there. And then it also is including a game with Alabama in there, Oregon State, Florida, Arkansas, Toledo. We play Oregon State twice. Arkansas we play twice. There's a possibility where we could be playing Florida twice. So I think it's amazing that our program, even for us to be able to be here as students and as kind of sports journalists, kind of looking at how this program is being built currently, and then by the time we graduate, it'll be an established thing.
I hate to make the comparison to other teams, but the way Colorado State University and its football program is going forward with building up the program as a whole is something similar to the powerhouse of Boise State. We definitely want to be a powerhouse like Boise State, and we've shown that we have the capability, the recruitment tools, and the players to become just as big of a powerhouse as our leading rival.
Definitely, and one thing that Boise State has that is not actually that good for them is that really their only good program is their football, and I believe their basketball program is
Decent.
subpar, decent in a way. But with CSU, it's an athletic whole. We have volleyball, which is nationally competing all the time and nationally ranked all the time. Our football program is being built up. Our basketball programs was good. It's kind of been shaky the last couple of years, but who knows exactly where that's going. So I think we're starting to build our program up to where we're able to compete, and then that kind of leads to the big final question: does CSU jump conferences?
See, that's a difficult question. I'm not convinced that Colorado State University is yet at the staple where they can jump conferences. Just because
I don't want us to pull a CU where we jump up and then have 4 years where we go 0-16 and never win a game.
I think we need to establish a head coach for a very long time first. We need to have a style of play that's CSU's overall statement. For example, Boise State and teams alike love running the powerhouse offense.
Yeah.
Which comes with the fullback, or they even throw in some wildcat at times, depending on what players you have.
Yeah.
CSU needs to make a name for themselves on what kind of players we recruit, what kind of style of offense we recruit, what kind of style of defense we recruit. Really, the only staple that we've had over the past couple of years is that our defense is good.
Yeah.
And we're not bad. At most, we're mediocre. But the way that CSU implements its defense, its blitzing techniques, and its overall stature as a defensive program, we are starting to build up. And that's one of the main reasons that we're getting this recognition. So for us to move conferences, we definitely need to suffice on branding ourselves as a major school in one or the other. Are we going to be an offensive school, a defensive school, a balanced school? How are we going to do it? And can we take on big teams? The only big team that we play in our conference is Boise State. Boise State has proven year after year to be great.
Yeah, they're always top 25, around that bottom half of that list. Have made it up to, 4, I think, or the last couple of years. So, yeah, that's true. They're kind of that last hurdle to jump of if we can consistently beat them, then maybe possibly.
Them and Utah State.
Definitely.
Utah and Utah State. Both of the universities in Utah that have great football teams we've played. We barely came out with a stretch of a win versus Utah State last year.
Yeah, that was a squeak of a win.
And versus Utah, we absolutely got embarrassed in the bowl game.
Definitely.
2 years ago.
Definitely.
So, again, it comes back to how are we going to show up on game day? Are we going to show up as just another mediocre school in the Mountain West Conference, or are we going to be that team to beat every year and that underdog in other divisions?
Definitely. Well, thank you, Oscar. That is all at the time we have right now. You are listening to the StatCat Podcast. Tune in next week where we dive deeper into some more CSU athletics.